Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. It is the 1st of July, which means it's time for my June art chat, where I talk about all of the art that I made during the month of June 2025. Crazy. Um, I am Melissa. I am artist, illustrator, graphic designer, living and working in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Today's Canada Day, so happy Canada Day. I'm pointing to red because everything should be red today. And let's get started. I think I've worked in every sketchbook this month except for except for two. So you'll see how many sketchbooks I actually have. On the go. I'm going to start with an embroidery sampler that I've been working on, and at this point, let's call it abandoned. Um, but I am learning embroidery. I'm having fun with embroidery, and I've just, after doing this amount of practice, jumped right in to doing some pieces, which I can't quite show you because they are in transit to their owners, the people that I made them for. But if Knit will do me the pleasure of moving her sweet little furry bum, I've been following. I think I've shared this book before, but I'll show you quickly again. This book, The Art of Embroidery Design. In here, there's some exercises for learning stitches and compositions and things. It's a very nice, very beautiful book by Christy Johnson. And I'm following the sampler builder exercises that she has in there. So this was the first exercise, just playing with stitches. Second one, some more stitches. The pen on here is like a removable pen. It's a friction pen, so you apply heat to it and the lines disappear, so it's great for sketching on fabric and stuff. And using that way. Anyway, that's what I worked on the 1st of June. You'll see a little bit more embroidery. On the 2nd of June, I'm going to want to say July a lot, but it's only the 1st of July, so. 2nd of June, we went outside for a little park hangout time. And this is a homemade watercolor sketchbook that I made, and I always like to start when we go to sit outside. I always like to start with a quick little warm-up, even though I should probably warm up before my warm-up, but that's okay. I used the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. Definitely used Daniel Smith watercolor sticks for Simon here. And then I also did some drawing. Oh, that's a little bit close in here. This is the Talons Art Creations sketchbook. You know it, you love it. I used for this, I don't know, art graph and pencil, looks like. Oh, the charcoal pencil, the really grody charcoal pencil. This year, so far, I'm trying to take out just a very limited selection of art supplies with me, whereas last year I would take out like absolutely everything and then be a little bit overwhelmed with material fatigue, I think, or like the expectation of having to do finished paintings and stuff. Actually, for the last couple of years since I started doing plein air, but now I just kind of like I just want to play. So here's another little warm-up sketch from the next day sitting outside in the park. And this time I took, in addition to a little watercolor palette, some Ecoline brush markers in CMYK colors. Yeah. And then this was done, actually, I think I did have a vlog, a little tiny short vlog of this day, with a homemade crayon that Olinda from Olinda's Artistic Oddities sent to me. Then we go, I don't know, to the 5th. For art hang party, and we went to Tokyo with Kama. Weird is the best. If you don't know what art hang party is, let me just tell you quickly. It is a weekly live hour-ish long art making session full of fast-paced drawing and a lot of fun. Everyone is welcome, whether you're a first-time drawer or a seasoned professional. And it is right here on YouTube, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on my channel. And every week we draw a different theme. Sometimes we change up the timing of it, but they're usually quick drawings, anywhere between 30 seconds and 10 minutes usually. But sometimes we go crazy and go up to 20 minutes sometimes. But yes, I think there's like over 120 replays on my channel. So if ever you're in the mood for any sort of drawing practice, I'm pretty sure that we have something for you. Okay, on the 6th was a pretty special day. Debbie Draws Funny, Deb Tertio, and I co-hosted a free draw frenzy session for folks at NBC Dallas Fort Worth. It was a paid gig, which is really cool. And it was to kick off their Pride Month celebrations in their office down there. And we drew some iconic drag queens. And using a rainbow pencil is just about the most appropriate thing to draw with. So if you don't know what Free Draw Frenzy is, it's a somewhat monthly live Zoom drawing session that Deb and I co-host together. It's free. It's very fun. It gets a little bit silly. And we have one coming up this Saturday on July 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll put the RSVP link for that below. Again, it's free. We're going to be building a retro beach party, which is one of my favorite things. My favorite things to do is build a scene. Build a scene drawings is pretty fun. You'll find some of those at Art Hang Party too. Also on the 6th, after a bit of a wind down from the drawing session, I joined Charlotta Hamilton for a drawing session. Conversations was her theme. So Char is here on YouTube also under Blue Shine Art, and she does live morning Zoom drawing sessions that you can join and watch her make magic. And she also has a Substack where she hosts Zoom sessions, and it's quite lovely. For this I used art graph, a little bit of watercolor, and I think that really gross charcoal pencil. The really gross charcoal pencil is this from General Pencil, and it's just really gross because like it is very scratchy and unpleasant on the paper, but I really like the effect. And then yeah, art graph, I think, for all of the black stuff. Next, we go into this one, which I started in 2023 and have barely used. But I got some new brushes, watercolor quill brushes from Onmar Wynn. I bought them, let's just say. I didn't get them from her, but they are her brushes that she put out recently, and I ordered them. Thank you. Thanks to everybody who watches my YouTube channel and participates in Art Hang Party. All of the money that I generate through my creative activities goes to art supplies. So it's my art supply budget, and I had funds to buy this brush set. So I painted some poppies from my camera roll, and it's I think this is quite pretty. I think this is the same day here. Oh, yes. I did a replay of Sitla Floor and Emma Carpendale of their drawing session that they did on Substack through Zoom, and it was Weird Pets and Their Owners. I used a pencil and some Neo pastels that I got at the same time that I ordered the brushes. I do have a video out on the brushes, so you can check that out if you're interested. And you'll see what I painted in that video very soon. That's the only thing I did in this big boy Talons sketchbook. I feel like this one has been neglected recently, but it's almost filled. Next day I worked on a family portrait painting for my brother. It was his birthday. So I'll show you that here. I actually had to work on it over 2 days because my sister-in-law's face just wasn't working properly with my paintbrush. So I had to make it look a little bit more like her, although it still doesn't fully look like her. But it was pretty close enough. I think there was a little bit of resemblance there, so I sent it off to him. On the 10th, I joined Beth Spencer and Samantha Dion Baker for a Zoom drawing session where we drew dogs of Brooklyn. So these are all dogs that Sam met on her daily walks and stuff, and yeah, just had really, really good time painting these. I used the Kakimori dip pen and some brown ink from Noodlers, and then a little bit of watercolor just for color. It's very very pretty. Then we went out to the park. This was a Thursday. This was Art Hang Party day, so I didn't want to do too much, but I did have to draw a little Simon in the park. Yeah, I think that's all I did on that day. And then it was Art Hang Party day, and the theme for this was same color, one color per reference. So I picked a number of references, and we only used one color grouping for each reference, so kind of working our way through the rainbow in monochrome. It was really nice. I love when we play with color, or do like little tasks like that at Art Hang Party. Play little games. On the 13th, I joined another drawing session with Charlotte Hamilton, and she was. Oh no, I watched the replay of this, I think. And the theme was shadows. So she was giving lots of good tips on how to capture shadows using just shape and single colors, not focusing on what the object actually is, but just looking at the shapes and shadows. And then these are some drawings that my niece did in here. And that's it. And this sketchbook was started a long time ago, and about halfway through. It's a Strathmore drawing sketchbook, so the paper is really thin, but I think I should do more in that. Then I joined Miss Debbie Draws Funny, for a Weirdo Drawing Club, which is a Zoom drawing session that she does through her Patreon. And we drew more gay icons. This was a good one. And that is the end of this sketchbook. So I do have a sketchbook tour video of this. It is part of my sketchbook tour extravaganza video. That's like an hour and 15 minutes long. I did a tour of 3 sketchbooks, 2 art halls, and 1 book flipped through. We'll go back in here. I think this is a little bit out of order, but you don't really care what order it's in. This is just a way for me to organize my thoughts. This is what I made in the video about the Anmar Win quill brush sets, brushes. So I painted the flowers, then I used Caran d'Ache Neo Pastels on top. This paper is actually really nice. It's a Pentalic sketchbook. And I used to work in this format a lot back when I was doing more line and wash, like watercolor stuff, but I should, as with all of my sketchbooks, work in them more. Let's look at this. This is a new kid on the block. This is a new Muji sketchbook that I just started. There you go. It's their pocket note book. Very flimsy, very, 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 very soft paper. And yeah, I joined Deb again for another Zoom session. This is just like a free, like a kind of co-creative hour. I think she calls it co-creative hour. And it is open to everybody. She opens the session, actually, she opens it up to everybody. So follow Deb on Patreon, subscribe to her here on YouTube, Debbie Draws Bunny, follow her on Patreon, and then come hang out for her co-creative hour. And so this was, this picture here was the one that she used for her post thumbnail. I was like, I have to draw that. It's just a bunch of like old-timey people sitting around knitting. It's like I was drawing my family or something. And then because I felt like I was drawing my family, I drew my grandma in one of her puppet creations. She was such a creative lady. Oh my gosh. Forever sewing. She would make puppets. She would always do like all the costumes for the church plays and things like that. Yeah, and then I found this picture of me and my dad in front of my grandma's garden, the little red schoolhouse in the background. It was a very sweet photo. Then, this is another new kid on the block. It's a pith sketchbook that was gifted to me by Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. And it's lovely. And to kind of test out the paper and everything, I did my comfort painting, which is my grandma's garden. Also, let's do this. This is a collage piece that I made. I was gonna actually send it to somebody, but I forgot to stick it in the envelope, so I have to remember next time I send them something to send them this. I started just by like blobbing out watercolor on paper and then like loosely sketching and then kind of painting over the lines and then cutting it out and gluing them down where they said they wanted to go. Next day was art hang party and we did vintage pottery. And I did these on separate little pieces of watercolor paper, and I'm gonna save these to stick in sticker orders, so or shop orders. So if you order anything off my shop, you can get one of these little paintings. Very fun. I actually used some new Viviva watercolor that Sarah also shared with me. It's the spring set, and they're such pretty colors. They're very Gonzai Tombi. I also worked on more embroidery over the next couple of days that also I have sent out to people, but I can't share it with you yet. But I'll show you like a blurry photos of them and see if you can guess what they are, or if you think that it's for you. This is a park day where we went outside to the park across the street. I always feel like I need to draw Simon. And it's always so hard because he's constantly moving. And speaking of moving, this is drawing some people as they're walking down the path. These pictures are from Beth Spencer from Introvert Drawing Club. And they're just photos that she shared in her chat to celebrate her 2-year anniversary for the month of June. And they're from past drawing sessions. So I kind of just focused on the photos that had people in them because I was in a people drawing mood. And I used Neocolors and a black Polychromos color pencil. This Muji sketchbook is really nice friends with pencils and pastels because the paper is so smooth, everything just kind of glides on. And by this time I was done drawing, so it's a very silly. 23rd was another hangout in the park day. Just a quick, very, very quick warm-up one. Let me show you this first. Playing hooky on a Monday afternoon. This is art graph, teal tailor shape, and then the pot of art graph. A chisel pen. Later in the day, I painted this using those Viviva watercolors. Look at the colors. Look how nice those colors are. So pretty. And this was a picture shared by one of Deb's patrons in her Discord. And then wanting to continue working in this book because it's so lovely. I did this with the Derwent Graphitint XL blocks. I realized I haven't used them since I got them. Might have been last fall. So I felt like playing with those, and I had to add in actually just a little bit of watercolor to get the yellow. But very nice. Back to more time in the park. The weather has been so lovely. For this, instead of wiping my brush on a rag or something, I decided to wipe it on paper. So as I was painting this, I was doing the background of this, just like not really paying attention to where I was putting the paint down. I was just really just wiping it off. But then I decided to draw on top of it. So this is like the same bush scene, really pretty flowery bush. And I really like how this one turned out, just like the really scribbly pen lines on top of the watercolor. I think that's really cool. I think that worked out nicely. The 26th was another art hang party day, and it was still life. So art hang party friends sent in pictures of still life that they have taken, or that they had in their camera roll. And the theme of this one, aside from still life, was to get over a art supply hang up that you have. So I always feel so tight when I use markers. So I thought I'm going to use markers today and I'm going to be loose with them. And I think I achieved that. I still obviously need much more practice if I want to continue working and being loose with markers, but I think there's something really powerful about drawing with people, like in a community of people, and kind of tackling something together. And I wasn't the only one. Other people used a supply that they are either tight with or have some sort of hang up about in an effort to get over it. And I kind of want to say that it worked for some. Not all, but some. Here's another day where we sat outside in the park. It's definitely park season now. And I just took out a 9B, super soft, super dark, Lyra water-soluble crayon. It's been a favorite to draw with so far, like recently, in the last couple of days. Just that. Like, it's smudgy. You can wet it. And like an art graph kind of thing, you can wet it. Later in the day, I joined an introvert drawing club. I think that was later in the day. Maybe the next day. This might be the next day. Using the same pencil. Actually, we start over here. So this was Beth's 2-year anniversary celebration Zoom session, which was very nice. And for the month of July, Beth is focusing on primary colors. So I thought I would use my favorite primary set of watercolors to start, even though this was still only on the 28th of June. Anyway, doesn't matter. Introvert Drawing Club 2-year celebration. We started by drawing yearbook photos of some teachers from, I have to guess, the 80s, late 80s probably. And then we drew some goats that she met recently, including a goat named Steve. And because this was still wet by the time we were on to the next reference, I pulled out the Muji, and that's where these guys come in. And then we played a little game of Unlikely Animal Friends, where we randomly picked numbers, and then we had to draw the animal corresponding with that number. So first we drew the elephant, or whatever the big animal was, and then we had to add in the little animal, which was very cute. On the 29th, I went to join the Urban Sketching group, the Urban Sketchers group, at the Tall Ships Festival down at Sugar Beach here in Toronto, and met up with Anne, which was really fun. I took the Chunky Boy again, and also the Zig calligraphy brush. There's Anne. She let me draw her. Just some things from around. I did record a short little, I think it's like ended up 3 minutes or something. So you can check a vlog out, a short little fun little vlog. And then I also did this one in here. So I got a bad sketch out of the way in the pith. So now I can be free to use this for whatever without pressure of everything having to be pretty. And then I came home and joined Shar for a Zoom session where we drew photos from Sissinghurst Castle in somewhere in the UK that she was just at. And I used the Lyra 9B again. Like, look how dark that gets. If a pencil can be juicy, this one is juicy. It's really nice to play with values with it. And then the last thing is this picture of my two cousins fishing in a dry creek at my grandma and grandpa's house. Yeah. I think this is cute. So that is everything in my sketchbooks. Now, as we do, I'll do a quick flip through of my daily self-portraits. And yeah, so for for May, I was really focusing on, well, those are all bad examples, but self-portraits was my main thing that I was doing for May, like really spending time going into it. So June is back to quick self-portraits. Oh yeah, I also went to the salon and my hair was dyed fully blonde. It is still much, much blonder than I would like it to be. This is the day that I went back to the salon to get her to put a shadow root in, I guess is what she called it. This one I drew holding two pens at the same time. I should draw like that more. I think that's pretty fun. pretty impressed that I drew this blind. I mean, that is a good blind contour. Oh yeah. It's a funny face. And that is it. Yeah, so that is everything that I made during the month of June. My favorite is this. It's so silly. I love painting my grandma's garden. But I think it has to be in combination with my grandma herself. For sure. Hands down, my two favorites. Let me know how your month of June went. If you had any sort of fun creative breakthroughs or anything, I would love to hear about it. If you have a favorite piece of mine that caught your attention, I would love to know. I just think that, I like to know what resonates with people. Yeah, and I hope you are ready for a very creative July. Like I mentioned, Art Hang Party, we do it every Thursday here on YouTube. I hope you can join. The next one is Hong Kong. So we're going to be doing some urban sketching in Hong Kong with Lori from Slow Bloom Art, which the photos are really nice. So I think you will enjoy that. And then I don't know what any of the other themes are for the month because we always decide at the end of the session for what we're doing next week. Saturday, July 5th, we have a free draw Friendzy. I'll put the RSVP link for that below. Hope you can join us. And yeah, just have fun being creative, and I will see you very soon. Bye.